Hello fellow creators, welcome and welcome back to Seid the YouTube channel. My name is Shawa, and on this channel I post informative videos and tutorials on sewing as well as other fun DIYs. So as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful top. So it's a crop top with this ruched detailing all around the body, and for the surprise, yes, it's an open back with these strings, and it is so freaking cute. I'm so obsessed with it. I love it so much. So for this tutorial, you can use any fabric of your choice, but I would suggest, a lighter fabric because of the way it is and because of the ruching. You want the ruching to be really, detailed. So in this tutorial, I showed you how to cut it and sew it. So there is literally no patterns for this. You don't need any patterns, and it's a really, really beginner friendly tutorial because it's straight seams. There's no like curves or anything. It's just straight like you would see in later on in the video. So if you're a beginner, you have something here for you, and if you're an intermediate sewer as well, you can still hop on this, okay? Because I'm sure you may not have something like this in your closet. Even if you do, so another one. And also, it's a fast project. You can do it in literally a day. It depends on how fast you are and if you're like using the whole day. So yeah, that's just that for that. Please, if you found this video helpful, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up so that it can reach other people like you who want to learn how to sew. Without further ado, let's just get straight into the video. Okay guys, so these are the pieces that you're going to need. So first of all, you're going to need pieces for your straps. So for the pieces for your straps, they're supposed to be very long, so the length depends on you, but 60 inches length is the way to go. And then you also want to make sure that the width of the straps are about 1 inch or 1.5 inches, and you also want to have two, but I cut three because I wanted to add it to the straps to make it longer. Okay, so then after that, you're going to need the body of the top. So for the body of the top, the width should be very long because, as you know, we're going to want to make the ruffles and make it puffy, so that's why it has to be very long, like 60 inches. And while for the length, we want to add three measurements in order for you to be able to get the length. Okay, so the first measurement that you want to work with is 1 inch at the top of the top. Yes, and then you want to work with your upper bust to your under bust measurements. So while you're measuring this, I suggest that you don't wear a bra for this because we're not going to be wearing bras because of the back. And then also, if you want it to be a bit more puffy, because I didn't want it to have like this bralette look, I wanted it to be puffy and just look like an actual top. So that's why I just added 2 inches to my upper bust to my under bust measurements. Then the last measurement is 2 inches, which is going to serve as the bottom of the top. So that's what is going to create the ruffles at the bottom of the top. So then after that, you just want to go ahead to just add all these measurements that you got together, and then that is going to be your full length of the top. And then you also want to add 1 inch of seam allowance so that you'll be able to join the two pieces together. So for the width of the top, most fabrics come with 60-inch length, so we're going to be using that 60 inches as our width, and that is perfectly okay. I think for all sizes that should be okay. You don't need to like cut to join or anything. 60 inches is okay for the width. While for the length, you know that we already decided the length from the 1 inch measurements plus your bust to under bust as well as 2 inches for the bottom. So what you want to do is that you want to measure that measurement that you got for the length. You want to measure it on your selvage line. Okay, measure it on the selvage edge, and once you get to that part, then you're just going to make a small snip. And then once you make that small snip, then you're just going to go ahead to just rip it apart like so. And then what this does is that it's just going to cut the fabric in a very straight line. So what you're going to do is that you're going to have a uniform from measurements from the top to the bottom, so you don't have to worry about like trying to like put the lines on the fabric and then cutting it out straight. Like you can just cut it out like this, and it's a lot easier for you. And then also for the straps, you want to do the exact same thing. So for the straps, for the width of the straps, I went ahead to cut it as 1 inch, but you can cut it as 1.5 inches. Inches, it depends on you if you want the straps to be tiny or you want the straps to be wide. So in order for you to start sewing the top, you want to go ahead to join the two pieces of the top together. So as you can see, I am not joining it with the right sides facing each other because I noticed that the wrong side of the fabric was actually really nice. I would also want it to show. So what I just did was that I just went ahead to just join it with the right side and the wrong side facing each other like so. Okay, and what this gave me is that when I turn it over, I could either see the right side or I could see the wrong side. So this is only applicable if you're working with maybe like a fabric like mine that the wrong side is actually cool. But if it's not cool and it's not the same, then just join it with the right sides facing each other so that when you turn it over, it's going to show only the right side. Okay, and then you want to just make a straight stitch at the top and at the bottom like so, so that when you turn it over, is going to come out like this, and you would have, your piece ready. And then once you turn it over, it's definitely going to have this like puffy look. So you just want to go ahead, just take it to your ironing board and just make sure that you press it down so that all the seams lay flat and everything looks nice. So yeah, this is what you should have come up with. So after that, you want to go ahead to sew your straps. So of course, you want to start at the top there. You want to ensure that there's a stitch at the top of the strap so that we'll be able to use it to turn over the strap later on. So after you get to the end of the strap there, you just want to turn it so that it will be facing the length of the strap, and then you just want to sew all the way down like so. And then once you're done with that and you've done the other straps, you just want to go ahead to just get your bodkin, and then you just want to use your bodkin to just turn your straps to the right side. Okay, so as you can see, that's just what you want to do. This may take a while, but just do it. And you want to ensure that you do it for all the straps. And once you're done, it should look like this. So as you can see, I have two straps that I'd already turned to the right side, but they were just not as long as I would have liked them to be. So I wanted to add, an extension to the straps. So as you can see, this is the one that I was talking about, that I made it too small and I just wasn't able to turn it over to the right side. Okay, so what I just did was that I just cut it into two, and then what I'm going to be doing is that I'm just going to be extending the straps using these two straps like so. Okay, so I'm just going to join the small strap to each end of the straps that I have. And to make it easier for you, what you want to do is that you want to ensure that the extension of the strap that you're adding is exactly half the measurement of your under bust and your upper bust. Okay, so they would so this will just help you to know that, okay, when you're making your ruffles, you would just want to end your ruffles at those seams there that we've created, okay, at the seam that we used to join the straps together like so. So as you can see, what I'm just taking is I'm just taking the first strap and I'm just going to join it to each side of the strap like so. Okay, and then once I did that, then this is what I ended up with. So as you can see, it's already joined to the strap and it's just like one piece without an opening. So then you don't want to cut out the strap, you want to leave that part there, okay, because that is the part that we're going to conceal inside the top. So you want to ensure that you leave that part as it is there. So you just put the like where the two seams meet, and then you're just going to use that to just get the middle of the strap there like so. And then once you get that, then you're just going to cut that part there. And once you do that, as you can see, we have our strap that has been elongated. So after you've done that, then the next thing you want to do is that you want to put the tunnels that the strings are going to pass through. Okay, so we're going to have a total of two tunnels. Okay, so in order for you to get where you're going to put the tunnels, where you're going to put the seams, in order to create the tunnels, you want to measure from the top. Okay, so of course, as I said before in the beginning, we're going to be leaving 1 inch so that there'll be that space at the top there, as you can see there. So what you do is you just want to mark 1 inch from there. So from that point on, then you're going to go ahead to mark your bust to your under bust. And as I said before in the beginning, I added 2 inches to my bust to under bust measurement because I wanted it to have that puffy effect. I didn't want it to have like this bralette looking thing, because if it's exactly my bust to under bust, then it would fit very well to my breast. But I think that this would only be applicable if you have like tiny breasts like mine. But if you have big breasts like mine, then your boobs are already puffy, so you don't exactly need all of that volume. But if you need all of that volume, if you want all of that volume, then just add like 2 inches to your bust to under bust measurements. So then after you do that, then you just want to mark that same measurements all the way through the top piece like so. So then after you sew on that line, then you're now going to sew another line so that you'll be able to create the tunnel that the straps would pass through like so. Okay, but before you start sewing, you want to ensure that you leave 1 inch of allowance at the sides there, because we're going to be folding those raw edges inside. Okay, so you want to leave 1 inch of allowance there. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to sew all the way on that line that you created there. So make sure that you move your pins as you're sewing so that you don't cut your needle. So once you're done with that, then what you want to do is that you want to make sure that you make another seam at that side of the seam so that you'll be able to create the tunnel that the strap will pass through. So what you just want to do is I just want to arrange the strap like so, very close to the seam that you already created. And then after you do that, then you're just going to take it to your sewing machine, and then you're just going to make sure that you align your needle in a way that is going to be very close to the strap, so that you'll be able to get, okay, this is the amount of space I'm going to be needing to leave between my footer and my and the stitch that you just created. I hope you understand. So yeah, so what you're just going to do now is you're just going to sew that stitch, another stitch at the side of the stitch that you already created, so that you'll be able to get the tunnel. And then you want to do it for the other side as well. And then once you do that, you should have something like this. So as you can see, we have the tunnels that we're going to be passing through the straps through, so that we're able to make that ruching effect. So I chose to use this method rather than using the bodkin, so that I'll just make it more easier for me. So what you just want to do is I just want to get your hand needle, pass thread through, and just tag the end. So what you want to do is I want to tag the needle and the thread to the strap, to the end of the strap, and make sure that it's very secure, so that it doesn't cut or anything as you're like passing the needle through. So what you want to do is I want to pass the blunt side of the needle inside the tunnel like so. So what we're going to be doing is that we're just going to be fidgeting it through that tunnel, like the same way that we would use a bodkin or a safety pin. I just noticed that this is much easier, especially if you're working with safety pin, because safety pin can just be removing anyhow. But before you do that, you want to ensure that you snip off the excess that we used to join the two straps together to elongate the straps. You want to make sure that you trim out the excess, so that it will be able to pass through the tunnel without any issues. So this is just better, rather than having to like fidget a bodkin, which is significantly bigger, or like a safety pin, like which would just be removing and removing and removing. This one is quite easier, so I would suggest that you just do this one. So as you can see, you just want to just take your time to just do it. It's on time lapse now, but trust me, it took a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time for you to do that. You want to pass it through until you're able to get the other end of the strap outside of the other end of the top, like so. So as you can see, I already have it there. So once you have it there, then it's going to be much easier for you, because when you're passing the needle through, you want to ensure that you don't pull it too much, so that it doesn't just like cut or anything like that. So you just want to take your time to do it until it's the actual strap that comes out. And once the actual strap comes out of the other side of the top, then you rest assured that you can pull as much as you want to pull. It's not going to like come out. So once you notice that you have pulled the strap out to the extent that it has shown that seam that we used to elongate the strap, you want to stop there, okay? Because you know that the extension that we made, that is what we're going to be using as the gauge of this. Is going to be the width of my like the width that I'm going to use. And once you've gotten there, what you just want to do is that you just want to pin down that part there like so. And then once you pin it down, then you're just going to just pull the fabric to the other side until you get to that part of the strap in the other side of the top as well, and then you pin it down. So you want to do this for the other side, and as you can see, you just want to take your time with this. As you can see, I was just taking snacks and just watching something while I was doing it. And yeah, so once you're done with that, it should look like this. You should have this already ruffled. So of course, as you can see, this is it, folding over that I mean, rather than just folding it like a normal hem. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to be concealing the raw edges by folding it inwards. Okay, so we're going to be folding the raw edges inwards, and then after we fold it, we're just going to just use pins to just secure it in place. So the reason why we're going to be doing it is like them like this is because it's going to be much neater. All we're just going to do is just make a top stitch at that part, and then it's going to be really neat and all of that. So once you folded it over, you just want to take your pin, and then you just want to secure it with the pin. So after that, you're just going to go ahead to just do the exact same thing, just fold it inwards and make sure that the raw edges are concealed. Once you're done with that, it should look like this. Okay, so what we're just do is we're just going to be top stitching on that part to ensure that it looks like this. So as you can see, what you just want to do is I just want to top stitch on that part there like so, and just top stitch. Make sure that you use a thread color that is very close to the fabric, so that it doesn't look wonky or anything like that. And yeah, once you're done with that, you just want to do it for the other side, and you are literally done with your top. So as you can see, really, really easy to make, and it's just so cute. It's just giving everything, and it's just giving high couture. So yeah, that's just that for how to sew this top. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope it was fun for you to watch, and I hope that you learned something new. And if you do, which I'm sure you did, please subscribe. Okay, subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please go and check out my homepage. I have different other categories that you could just go and watch, and you can get inspired by all those things with like tops, dresses, skirts, all of that. And I also have some videos here. One is a video, one is a playlist, so just go and check that out as well if you want to get your creative juices flowing. So yeah, that's just after that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.